Krikora, sponsored by the Schuyler family, for sale. Third place, presented by Merrill Klein, sponsored by Tecumseh Junior Air Force ROTC, New Bremen. Second place, presented by Jared Gruber, sponsored by Billy Gruber, Bethel. And first place, presented by Jared Gruber and Kanan Gray, sponsored by the Gruber family, Versailles. Class B, Best Percussion, presented by Jake Benisek, sponsored by the Schuyler family, Northwestern. Best Auxiliary, presented by Chelsea Justice, sponsored by the Schuyler family, Northwestern. Third place, presented by Jared Gruber and Ashlyn Moore, sponsored by Jared Gruber, Northwestern. Second place, presented by Jared Gruber, sponsored by Kelly Gruber, Clinton Massey. First place, presented by Brenna Weaver, sponsored by Greg and Amanda Snyder, Milton Union. And now, Class A. Best Percussion, presented by Caitlin Shanahan, sponsored by the Cozy family, in honor of Phil Ahart, Tippecanoe. Best Auxiliary, presented by Haley Becker, sponsored by the Schuyler family, Newton. Third place, presented by Lexi Perez, sponsored by Primerica Financial Services. Call Kristen Kopp at 937-450-2130 to begin a bright new financial future for your family. Tippecanoe. Second place, presented by Annie Coffenball, sponsored by the Coffenball family, Stebbins. In first place, presented by Caitlin Rowland, sponsored by Greg and Amanda Snyder. Newton. Class AA, Best Percussion, presented by Stephen Cozy, sponsored by the Cozy family in honor of Phil Ahart. Fairfield. Best Auxiliary, presented by Cammie and Carissa Duff, sponsored by the Duff Dynasty. Hilliard Darby. Third place, presented by Michaela Schuyler, sponsored by the Schuyler family, Marysville. Second place, presented by A.J. Peoples, sponsored by Perry Snarr, Hilliard Darby. In first place, presented by A.J. Peoples, sponsored by the Peoples family, Fairfield. And now for general awards. The People's Choice Awards, presented by Caitlin Perez, sponsored by Primerica Financial Services, Fairfield. Best Music Award, presented by Gwen Chappell, sponsored by Sam George from Sensible Tub Bathroom Safety Products, Fairfield. Best Visual Award, presented by Kane and Gray, in honor of gladiators everywhere, Fairfield. Best General Effect, presented by A.J. Peoples, sponsored by Perry Snarr, Fairfield. A Grand Champion, presented by Caitlin Rowland and Cammie Duff, sponsored by Tecumseh Band Boosters, Inc. Fairfield. qualify for state. One more chance to get your keys. We think it's a Honda Odyssey. It is a Honda key, so come on up and get your keys. And now, the bands who have qualified for state this evening. New Bremen High School. Bethel High School. Versailles High School. Milton Union High School. Newton High School. Stebbins High School. Reynoldsburg High School. And last but not least, I'm sorry, not the last, Tippecanoe High School. Hilliard Darby High School. Fairfield High School. Marysville High School. And finally, your host this evening, Tecumseh. Good luck in the future.
That's why I stayed up here since 2 o'clock today. I wasn't going up and down.